Hello, everyone. This is Julie Parker here with you. It is Wednesday. It's about 5:43 locally, Central Time, and I wanted to pop on and just say hello and introduce somebody who's a fascinating person in my life and a wonderful friend. So, as you know, I'm on a path of empowering other people, and along my journey, I like to share other people with you that you might be able to benefit from, or just enjoy their story or what they do. So, before I do that, I would like to if anyone's watching live, I don't see anybody yet, but if you're watching live, go ahead and throw some thumbs up or hearts or questions or comments. Those are always great. We'll answer them as we see them come up. Or if you're watching a replay, thumbs up and hearts are wonderful. Comments and questions are welcome as well, and we'll pop back by to answer them later. Anyway, without further ado, I wanted to introduce to you somebody who is just delightful, who I have hired as a coach. I read her face and was introduced to her, and I thought immediately I knew I wanted to work with her. So without further ado, this is Cindia Carrere of Heal Your Grid. Welcome, Cindia.
Julie, that is so sweet. Thank you. Thank
You're
you for
welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for being here with us. So if you would tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, just the bare bones is I'm an energy healer, but it gets really more complicated than that. It's like deep shamanic healing work for your money, for your energy. I don't know how deep you want to go or what you want to talk about, but I can just say energy healing, especially around the heart issues and financial energy.
And who out there would love some energy healing around finances? I know I wanted some, which is why I wanted to talk to her initially. So I'll just tell you a couple things that I saw in Cindia's face before we get into a little bit more about what you do and how it works. A mutual acquaintance of ours, a client of Cindia's, had introduced me to her, and I was really curious. I knew when I saw her immediately, I read her face and some of the features, and I knew immediately I wanted to work with her. I knew I could trust her. I knew she had integrity. I knew she would not offer me something that would not be a mutual benefit for both of us. I knew I could trust her. I knew she was very spiritual, very creative, very warm, and also she had a very matter-of-factness about her, also a level of respect of me and for me. So her work was respectful. I knew she worked, and her work was of the highest quality as well. So I'm trying to think what else I wanted to mention about that. Is there anything I forgot that I've told you about before?
No, you were just very, very sweet. I'm glad I didn't know that you were actually reading my face at the time, because I probably would have contracted a little bit, not knowing that you were doing that right away. But you did it so gently, and it wasn't until later that you told me you were assessing my features. And I think this is so important. The face reading, I'm absolutely in love with it. I had heard about it before I met you, I was so excited when I learned that's what you do. But as women do age and we start to see all the different features in our own face, I can get critical of my own, and I think that's a common trait that women do have. So how do you help women be far more comfortable with their face and what the features are showing?
Well, I think it's safe to say that we're our own worst critics. I see someone joining us. If you don't mind, either post some likes or hearts or comments or questions below so we can answer them. As I said a minute ago, we're our own worst critics. And what this is not, and people just initially when I've described what I do, people will hide their face. They always think the worst. They think I'm going to see the worst. And that's the last thing I want to do. So I'm always looking for positive things. I'll also look for ways that people might be, because the face reveals a lot. Mm-hmm. And I don't want people to be uncomfortable. So I like to be considerate and diplomatic and gentle with something that comes up that might not come across that way. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. And
positive ways to.
I've seen you in action. I've been so impressed. I've seen you in a group setting where you are able to see people that you've never met before until that moment, and then just be able to tune right in and by the very features on their face, mirror back some of their own qualities and traits that they are absolutely surprised that you were able to see.
It's all right in the face, and thank you. So if you would tell us a little bit about how you do what you do, how does it work?
Well, how I do it is so linked to how I received it. So I was a jewelry designer for 22 years and very content making really fun stuff for people to wear. And I was very conscious of like the chakras and wanted to help empower women and their voice. And one day, and this is the very truncated version, but one day I received a direct transmission, a divine download that gave me all this information. And it took about 30 minutes, and it was just a bunch of what felt to me like random pictures and images and equations and numbers, and nothing like that had ever happened to me before. So I didn't know what was happening, but when it was done, I had a clarity and I was able to see the world in a completely different way. And how I describe it, it was like I was a computer program that did not have certain capabilities. And then after the download, it was like I had been given a program that suddenly I was able to do these certain capabilities. And one of the first things was about being able to now perceive, and I use the word perceive because with some people I'm able to see it, other people I'm able to feel it. It depends on how they are transmitting. But I can tap into people's energy grids and see how their energy field, which resembles a grid with vertical and horizontal lines of light, are like this tennis racket. I carry this tennis racket around, but it has a big hole in it, right? So how our energy system is, I see most people trying to heal. So heal their hearts, heal their money, heal their financial energy at what I call the device level. And so most of us have cell phones, we have computers, we have televisions. And if suddenly one of them went on the fritz, you'd be probably tapping your phone and trying to, get it to work at the device level. But if a cell tower was out, if something were happening at the bigger level, it wouldn't matter what you did with your device, it wouldn't change it. And so I work with people not at what I call the device level, but at the grid level. Mm-hmm. So I go up more to what is causing it and go back to the root causes. And so someone could be a stellar tennis player, but if they had this racket, didn't matter how good their serve was, right? The ball would go right through. And that's the way it is in the condition of our grid. If we have holes, if we have missing energy, and I will tell you that blocked energy is painful, but missing energy is intolerable. And so that's where a lot of addictions come from. It's where almost all the things like overcompensating, overeating, over shopping, any of those things happen because people have missing energy and they're trying to fill that. And people talk about having a hole in their heart or a hole in their gut or something. And what I do is I help them remove the blockages and help repair this so that their tennis racket, their grid is in beautiful, healthy shape. So that even if they have lots of money or lots of love surrounding them, if there's holes in it, the money will pass right on by them. The love will pass right on by them. And they'll think they never even had it.
That is fascinating. And I just learned something new. So what would you say, do you have a favorite client testimonial or client story that you'd like to share?
I have so many, but the one that is just coming up, I will use our mutual. I was working with her in her financial area, and she gave it this testimonial, so I do have permission to say this. Okay. We were clearing her numbers, and I got to number 25. And there's a whole thing about little kid numbers, like when we learn math and we learn to deal with money, we learn in pennies and nickels and dimes and quarters and dollar bills. And then when we become entrepreneurs or have our own business or whatever, we're suddenly dealing with numbers in the 5, 6, 7 figures. And our little kid didn't learn how to work with those kinds of numbers. And what happens is in people's financial energy, just one little portion of it is things that happen when you're a child. Maybe you were collecting for Girl Scouts and you turned your money in and they didn't count it, they didn't know it, and then you were accused of stealing, right? It could have been $12, it could have been $20, but that would be devastating for you. So this one particular woman, I was able to clear 25. I found like a big pulse around 25, and it turned out it was a quarter. And when we cleared that, she shared with me that she had been trying to price her coaching packages at $25,000, but had never been able to do that. And I did not know. Wow. And so she shared that within about 7 to 10 days, after we cleared, she sold 3 $25,000 packages and a $5,000 package. So she
got chills.
She was able to, just from the energy clearing, she did other stuff. I mean, but that was the thing that had changed. And she could just deliver it so confidently. And so that's 80 grand within a week to 10 days just from.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And there's a lot more. I don't ever promise particular results because everyone's different, but I've had people's back pain just absolutely go away. Like one woman had a chronic back pain for 12 years. She didn't come to me for that. She came to me for her money. And when we ended up pulling the blockage out of her grid, her back pain went away, and it hasn't returned it's been over a year. And she just keeps talking about, oh, my back pain is gone. Right. So,
a bonus.
Yeah, there's physical things because we lock that energy. I mean, energy is stuck in our face, right? You know that people carry all that stuff. It's stuck in our jaws. It's stuck in our body.
Right.
So there's just tons of stuff that can happen.
Fascinating. That's amazing. Okay, so I'm going to put, if you'll introduce how people can reach you, your website.
So if you're resonating at all with, you have an energy grid and you want to know more about it, I've put together a complimentary workshop. It's about 30 minutes. You can use that little gear on YouTube to make it like 1.25 faster if you really want to. But I explain more in depth about the energy grid. And then I lead you through a process where you can get in touch with your own energy grid and see what condition it is. And then I give you the next step that if you encounter yours and you're like, oh, that's the condition, that's why it's so difficult for A, B, or C, then we can go ahead and have a conversation. And I'm going to
post this right here. This is the link. I don't know if you can see it, Cindia, but it's www.healyyourgrid.com/workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's how you can reach Cindia's workshop. And I'm going to post just your website now if they want to reach you to see how to heal their financial energy grid or other bonuses that might come along with it. So let's see. All right. I'm going to take that down. So if you're interested in getting a hold of Cindia, please do reach her. If you've got any comments or questions, post them at any time. Again, we'll be back to answer questions from the replay. And Cindia, thank you so much for sharing that with us. It was absolutely awesome having you here. And I just want to tell you all, my audience, and possibly Cindia soon, she's amazing to work with. She's fascinating. She's delightful. She's just, I can't say enough about her. And after my first consultation, I had something amazing happen. I was like, really? And this is just the consultation? Let's go. Definitely. So again, thank you for being here. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you for sharing your gift with us.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity and inviting me.
You're welcome. All righty. So that's all for today. Signing off for now. Catch you next time with another awesome person or another tip. All right. Bye for now, everybody. And